introduce us quickly?
Yes, definitely. I just want to say a very warm welcome to Midea today, who's joining us to give everyone a presentation on their internship and graduate recruitment programs, and say a warm thank you to Leanne for organizing this. My name is Kira, I work at the University of Manchester, and I'm really excited to sit on this session today to find out more myself about the work that you do and everything else. Just to say to the students, thank you for joining us, and then we'll be taking questions at the end. Please pop them through the chat section throughout the session, either in English or Mandarin, and then we'll be getting to them at the end after the presentation. Thank you so much. Without any further delay, I'd like to hand over to Leanne.
Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to quickly introduce the session. There will be 3 parts with a Q&A at the end. The first part, we'll do a quick introduction to the company and talk about talent development program, and I will do that, and I'll do it in English. And then the second part, we will have an alumni talking about their role in the company and how it was like onboarding here. And then we'll have someone talking about their overseas placement. And those 2 sections will be done using Putonghua. And then at the end, we'll have a Q&A. And so I think for the Q&A, 你们可以用普通话. And if you want to ask questions in the group chat, you can type in English or in Chinese, it's fine. Whichever one you want to. For the first bit, I think 最好我用英文介绍会清楚一点. So I'm going to start with English. So I'm just going to quickly introduce where Midea is right now. Some of you guys are obviously familiar with the name Midea. It's quite a famous brand in China, but probably not familiar with exactly what we're doing. So we're very famous for some of the things you see here on the left-hand side. The consumer electronics, for example, and also the heating and ventilation systems. And that's our core business. And we use the money from that business to invest in a lot of other different areas. So if you go back to another famous company, Samsung, like 20 years ago, they were investing a lot of money into phones, but their core business actually was computer chips. And so that's a bit like us right now. Our core business is here, and we're investing into a different area. And phones has become their major business now. And so we're looking at these other areas to become our major business in the future. So just a little bit about those areas. These are very STEM kind of area businesses. So electronic and mechanical engineering underlies everything that we do. So it's in all our different kind of areas. For example, it's in the way we produce things. It's in the way that we deliver things. It's in the way our products work. And we're looking for people who are experts in this area. You know, hopefully they can develop the next great product that gives us a good advantage in the market against our competition. Now, next section, it says robotics and automation. So we have a lot on robotics in terms of manufacturing. So on like a chain where a product is being made, we're using robotic systems there. And in China, it's not very developed. So we've actually purchased some other companies that specialize in this and brought them into China. And so we're actually building robots here from our own name and also under the German KUKA here that you can see underneath. So if you're expert in robotics or something like that, it's also we also have positions for you. Now, automation is a bit linked with the last one. We have a large supply chain network that is supplying a lot of different countries. We sell our products in over 100 countries, and we manufacture in more than 10 countries. And we also have R&D in quite a lot of countries as well, about 10 countries too. So to link all of those things together, the resources they need to make the products, to deliver the products to places on time, this is all kind of logistics network, which is managed through big data, computing, kind of math, algorithms, these kind of things, yeah. And also we're doing this for sales, which products sell best in which places, which products are suited to certain markets. It's a huge company. You can see here underneath that we don't only use the Midea brand name. We have a lot of different brand names there. So one that may stand out for you guys is Toshiba. It's a Japanese company. We 95 or 99% own Toshiba until the year 2040. And so their products will also like have our own factories in Japan producing their products and shipping them around. And we have R&D in Japan too. And so a lot of these brands are in different countries around the world. I'll show you a map a bit later where some of those are. And some of them are own brands and some of them are ones that we bought into Midea Group. Okay. Midea is rapidly growing. In the last year, we've had the COVID and it's affected a lot of business. For us, we've been quite lucky because a lot of the things that we make, such as air filters and freezers and home cooking products, are things that people need. So our share price just over a year ago was 47 RMB, and it's risen over 100. Although recently I think it's dropped a little bit, but it's doubled in the space of about a year. Now that's not the only growth we've had. We've had growth for many years actually. You can see very briefly here a little bit of our growth. In the last 20 years, we've bought out a lot of different companies in different places and partnered with different companies. And we've basically grown from being a one category company to a multi-category, one industry to many different businesses, and one country to worldwide, one brand to a whole portfolio of brands. And just from large scale manufacturing to all kinds of different manufacturing. So it's a very diverse company with a large range of job positions. Not only are we looking for STEM, we have all the different business areas too. So if you're coming here with an MBA or with something in HR or communications or something, we do have positions for you as well. Now it's quite international, so I'm just going to introduce where we are around the world. We have 17 international manufacturing bases. And the manufacturing bases, factories, essentially, different places, yeah. We have a global R&D network, so all across different continents, we have R&D. A quarter of our employees are overseas, and nearly half of our revenue is overseas. And that includes the partner companies that you saw above. So we are working overseas a lot, not so much under our own brand name, also a lot under different brand names. This is where our manufacturing is, and you'll find that this is every continent, actually, we have manufacturing here. So you can see in South America, Brazil and Argentina, in North America, USA, you can see in Europe, Belarus, Germany, Italy, Hungary, Egypt in Africa, India, Thailand, Vietnam, China, and Japan in the Asia areas. And our core manufacturing is in China. You can see 17 of our factories are based there, but we also have quite a lot based overseas as well. I think we have about 17 based overseas, so 50-50 actually. And we have a lot in different areas in ASEAN, and that's the manufacturing. This is our R&D. It's not quite so spread out. You can see our R&D is based primarily in USA. We have quite a lot in different areas there, including Silicon Valley. Yeah, we have in Germany and Switzerland, Hungary, quite a few places in Europe, and Germany, Stuttgart is our center for our R&D. And then we also have in Asia, so Japan, China, and also a bit in Singapore and India as well. So our R&D is quite spread around, but not so much as our manufacturing. And remember, having manufacturing everywhere gives us a lot of advantages. This is why we're so competitive in the market right now. It's why we're doing, it's one of the reasons we're doing very well. So why are we here today? To meet students like yourself. We're looking for talent. We're trying to recruit talent. To invite you guys to come and find out a little bit more about us. We're going to introduce our recruitment process and also show you a little bit about how you can join. And so when we get talent into the organization, we like to put a lot of effort to develop those guys, develop talent to make them better. This is what makes us really competitive. And so what are we looking for in our students? So like I'd mentioned, we are definitely looking for people with engineering or with STEM backgrounds. We're looking for people who also have business backgrounds. And if you've got something that you're not really sure if it would fit with us, just come in and talk to one of our recruiters, because it's such a diverse organization working in so many different places that we probably do have positions for you. Because we have a lot of 135,000 employees. So people doing a lot of different jobs there. And you can see some of the things we're looking for in our staff here. I won't go into too many details there about those. We have a philosophy for talent, and the philosophy is that talent makes us very competitive. And if we have good talent and we can keep the good talent by giving them a good life and give them good perks in a job and give a good working environment, we can retain the talent, it's going to make us competitive. So that's one thing that we really try to focus on, looking after our staff. Another thing is about we're quite bold in hiring and promoting young talent. So there's a girl later from the ITD who's working in Thailand, and their GM is about 30 years old, and he's in charge of like 300 people. My boss of my division, who's one of the vice president of the organization, when he was 30 years old, he was actually in charge of a product division. So he was in charge of 8,000 staff and over a billion, several billion yuan renminbi's worth of business. And he was only 30 years old. He'd only been in the company for 7 years, I think. So they do promote young people quite quickly. And I can say there's a lot of young leaders and also a lot of young female leaders in our company. And I think that gives us some kind of advantage, gives us a bit of diversity. We're looking for people with international vision. So this is why we've come to countries such as the UK, to the universities to talk and meet their students, because you guys have some overseas experience. So really tell us about your overseas experience. We're really interested to know about that. This kind of thing is really going to help us to expand. And we grow our management to have international vision as they're developing through the organization. So people that come in on the right hand side is a new employee, and so they get training and onboarding, and they onboard together. We have a graduate program, so a lot of people come in at a similar time, and they have a couple of weeks where it's a lot of fun and games and things like that, getting introduced to the company before they go off to their separate positions. We give them mentor and buddy to help them. There's a lot of general skills training available. So language skills, obviously, if you're doing overseas communication, planning and execution, something that's very important in a business, and not necessarily too many students are really good in this area when they first graduate. So these kind of general skills we develop. And then later on, staff go into 2 different pathways. So one would be professional, and that means you're an expert in an area. You know a lot about this one area. So like a head engineer or a finance expert, these kind of people, professional, specialize in their area. And the other is leadership. So this is, you're good at managing people, you have good communication skills, you're good at getting people to work and get things delivered on time. This is a management pathway. So generally people come into our company and follow one of the 2, a specialist or management pathway. And along the way, you can see for leadership, it says Navigator Voyager. These are different kind of programs that we have. They do placements overseas, maybe 2-year rotation working in a different country, rotation of job positions, getting projects, getting assigned a mentor from an executive who's going to look after you and help develop you. So we identify talent and put them into these different programs in the company to help them grow. It helps us grow. So this is the kind of thing that can happen to you when you come in as a graduate on the left-hand side, and you have a lot of different opportunities for training and personal development. And that's going to take you right up to being a top leader on the right-hand side. These are the executive leaders. And so I just want to show a couple of things there. In the 3rd column where it says team leader, it says job rotation. So our leaders, they rotate job every few years, 2 years usually. They move to a different position. So they get to know a lot about the different areas of the company. And then we have here also, this is the ITD project, which is a program that does overseas placement. Shortly, we'll have someone from ITD talk about their placement. So that's all I really wanted to say about what Midea is looking for, where we are right now, and a little bit about our talent development. If you're interested to know a bit more, we have a couple of groups here, which you can scan with your WeChat to join. So the one on the left is our public account for graduate employment. So if you scan that one, you can see and also apply for graduate positions in our company. And I think the one on the right-hand side then is it's for the interns. So if you're interested in internships, you can scan that and go into a group and talk to us. And then in the middle, if you're in different kinds of areas, you can use one of these numbers to join a group there. And the jiaopin.com at the top is the same thing as our public number there. So you're welcome to scan them. We will show them again later. So if you didn't scan it now, it's not the end. And next up, we'll have Ding, I think, who is going to do a short introduction about, she's a recent graduate from UK. She's just going to tell you about what happened to her when she came over here. So thank you for that. And Ding, are you ready?
Okay, yeah. So the second part, well, I'm gonna just use Chinese, okay? So 我们第二轮会是我们的 Jessica， 我记得是我们的来自巴斯大学的校友来给我们进行一个他现在的分享。对 ，Sabrina 那边已经开始分享屏幕了。
Hello, Jessica. Okay.
Yeah, are you ready? Jessica, you here?
Yes.
Okay. 好，那就是我们现在呢，就是我们 Jessica 来开始给我们介绍她目前在美的的一个经验，还有一个历程，然后大家可以仔细聆听一下。好 ，Jessica 你可以开始了。
好，大家好，就是如果过程中有听不清楚的，可以跟我说。是这样的，我叫 Jessica， 然后呢，我是在20届在巴斯大学毕业的。20届是20年进入美的，所以通常也会称我们为20届的毕业生。然后我在巴斯大学读的是可持续发展与管理。在进入英国读研之前呢，我也在加拿大读的是本科，然后本科也读的是 marketing。然后这边工作经历呢，我是20年1月份，然后过年前进入的家用空调事业部，然后现在呢是在他们的外销，就是海外营销的电商运营中心担任一个运营专员，主要是负责一些店铺的运营的。这个呢是我的成长历程，所以在我刚开始来美的的时候呢，因为我们整个部门和团队都是非常新的，就我刚入职才7个人，然后现在我们团队已经成为就是1年里快速成长为一个20人的一个部门了。那刚开始呢是我们刚好有个项目，然后呢我是通过这个项目，通过做客服，